All right. Chapter 27. The Gospel of Revolution. Apart from the Rosicrucians already mentioned, we see the foundation and growth of such societies as 1. The strict observance of the Baron Hund and the notorious Jew Luke, who had assumed the name of Johnson and several other aliases. It recruited its members in the lodges and went from occultism to political intrigue, later even formulating a plan of economic and financial rule. 2. The Martinists, which founded by a Portuguese Marano Jew, Martinez des Pasquale, united political intrigues fomented for the overthrow of the monarchy, together with magical practices. It numbered among its members the chief politicians who prepared the French Revolution. These were Savillette, Delange, William Law, and Mirabeau. 3. The Scottish Rite. 4. The Moravian brothers. 5. The Alta Vendita. And 6. The Egyptian rites of Cagliostro, Miserem. The adepts of all these different rites knew but little beyond the fact that they had shaken off the yoke of Christian principles, which were replaced by the cult of nature and, in almost all cases, licentiousness. They were but mere puppets manipulated by unseen men, whose sinister aims were the destruction of Christianity and the disruption of states, and to whom all the above-named orders of organizations were but so many recruiting grounds. It was only when each and all had gathered sufficient strength that the invisible masters attempted to unite them all under one supreme sway, namely that of Illuminism at the Covenant of Wilhelmsbad. Wilhelmsbad in 1782. Illuminism represented the efforts of the heads of the powerful Jewish Kahal, which has ever striven for the attainment of political, financial, economic, and moral world domination. The movement had been founded in 1776 by Adam Weishaupt. Bernard Lazare, himself a Jew, has written that there were Jews behind Weishaupt, and upon a close study of the Illuminism, we find that the destructive forces which culminated in the French Revolution were of three kinds: financial, intellectual, and anti-Christian. In the first class, we come upon the names of Jewish financiers such as Daniel Itzig, Friedlander, Surf Beer, Benjamin and Abraham Goldsmith, Moses Mokada, Vital Hain Ephraim. In the second category, we find Moses Mendelssohn, Naphtali Wesley, Moses Hersham, who are the inspirers of Lessing, Frederick Nicolai, Weishaupt, Mirabeau, L'Abbe Gregor, the Duke of Brunswick, Wolfenbüttel, and Anacharsis Klutz. Lastly, the third class is composed mostly of the group known as the Encyclopedists: De Albert, Diderot, Rousseau, Voltaire, and of all the Kabbalists practicing magic, and among whom we find Martinez des Pasquale, Lucht, the enigmatic Count of Saint Germain, Falk, and Joseph Balsamo, surnamed Cagliostro. The objects of this powerful organization of the Bavarian Illuminati were: 1. The destruction of Christianity and of all monarchical governments. 2. The destruction of nations as such in favor of universal internationalism. 3. The discouragement of patriotic and loyal effort, branded as narrow-minded prejudice, incapable with the tenets of goodwill to all men and the cry of universal brotherhood. 4. The abolition of family ties and of marriage by means of systematic corruption. 5. The suppression of the rights of inheritance and property. Moses Mendelssohn, himself the head of the Haskalah Jewish Illuminati, incorporated with the Bavarian Illuminati of Weishaupt and with the prominent members of the other revolutionary secret societies aspiring to political power. But in 1784, the Elector of Bavaria made an abortive effort to stamp out the conspiracy, which, being international, was necessarily impervious to local measures. The poison of subversion was working in France, where on January 21st, 1793, it culminated in the death on the scaffold of Louis XVI, an event that, in Masonic jargon, is known as the Second Cannon Shot. The capture of Rome by Cadorna in 1870 was the third. As a further confirmation of concerted Masonic action, let us bring yet another illustration. In the first days of the French Revolution, 1848, 300 Freemasons with their banners flying over brethren of every rite representing French Freemasonry marched to the Hotel de Ville and there offered their banner to the provisional government of the Republic, proclaiming aloud the part they had just taken in the glorious revolution. M. de Lamartine made them this answer, which was received with enthusiasm by the Freemasonry lodges. It is from the depths of your lodges that the ideas have emanated, first in the dark, then in the twilight, and now in the full light of day, which have laid the foundations of the revolutions of 1789, 1830, and 1849. 14 days later, a new deputation of the Grand Orient, adorned with their Masonic scarfs and jewels, repaired to the Hotel de Ville. They were received by A. Cremieux and Garner pages, attended by pages who also wore their Masonic emblems. The representative of the Grand Master spoke thus: French Freemasonry cannot contain her universal burst of sympathy with the great social and national movement which has just been effected. The Freemasons hail with joy the triumph of their principles and boast of being able to say that the whole country has received through you a Masonic consecration. 40,000 Freemasons and 500 lodges, forming but one heart and one soul, assure here of their support happily to lead to the end of the work of regeneration so gloriously begun. Brother Cremieux, a Jewish brother, member of the Provisional Government, replied, Citizens and brothers of the Grand Orient, the Provisional Government accepts with pleasure your useful and complete adhesion. The Republic exists in Freemasonry. If the Republic do as the Freemasons have done, it will become the glowing pledge of union with all men in all parts of the globe and on all sides of our triangle. If the wielding of power and their national political, economic, and financial strength over the peoples by a few hidden hands can result in such calamitous upheavals as the French Revolution, the World War of 1914, and the Russian Revolution of 1917, were it not wise to apply the lessons of experience and ascertain whether the supposed harmless masonry of today does not again serve as a screen or curtain behind which thrive secret societies no less subversive, revolutionary, and demoralizing than those which we have just so briefly sketched? We know that most of them, such as the Martinists, the Illuminatis, the Scottish Rite, and the Egyptian lodges of Memphis and Mizraim, still exist today. So, on what grounds can we base our assumption of a change of the revolutionary and anti-Christian principles? In the face of late events, namely the Peace Conference, the creation of the League of Nations, the amalgamation of international resources, the confiscatory inheritance taxes, the development of international finance, the proposed establishment of the international non-Christian cult, have we the right to refrain from lifting the veil of masonry beyond which subversive movements are so conveniently hidden?